Here are 3 real ways to survive encountering your doppelganger. According to ancient mythology, doppelgangers are malicious entities that look and act exactly like us and seek to replace us in our own lives. The first thing you'll want to do to avoid having a run-in with your evil twin is to destroy or get rid of all of the mirrors in your possession. One of the most common tricks that a doppelganger will use to try and infiltrate a person's home is to impersonate their reflection, since they are capable of entering the mirror world. Unfortunately, you can't get rid of all of your reflective surfaces, but you don't have to make it easy for them. If you really need a mirror, buy one that's too small to crawl through. Secondly, if possible, you're going to want to try and build a very close relationship with the people around you, especially your family, as they are the people who are exposed to you the most. That way, when your doppelganger does find you, they'll be able to tell the difference and hopefully give you some forewarning. And above all, if you suspect that your doppelganger has located you, you're going to need to pay very close attention to your surroundings. Don't write off any details, no matter how small they may seem. If something feels off or out of place, they may already be inside. Comment if you think that you could outsmart your doppelganger, and follow for more.
Disturbing facts that may ruin your day. Brain activity may continue for more than 10 minutes after you've died. Research suggests that even when you're unconscious, you can still feel touches from your loved ones and hear yourself pronounced dead. There are over 200 bodies on Mount Everest, and climbers commonly use them as trail markers. If the sun were to explode, we wouldn't know for about 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Real human skeletons were used in the 1982 film Poltergeist. Cast and crew were not aware of this until they had actually finished filming. Climate change is making wolf spiders around the world bigger. 2 Scottish surgeons originally invented the chainsaw in order to assist with childbirth.
Terrifying Games You Don't Want to Play, Part 49. A Game of Chance. This ritual is appropriately named and especially dangerous because the player has no control over its outcome. It's left entirely up to luck and what some might call destiny. To play this game, you'll need to summon the mysterious Game Master, a terrifying entity who has also been referred to as the Grim Reaper or Death's Shadow. To do this, you will need a single red candlestick, a blank sheet of paper, preferably white or cream colored, a pen and ink, and 3 coins of the traditional variety. That is to say, one side has heads and one side has tails. Once you have acquired these items, you'll need to make sure you are alone in a room with no windows and no peepholes. If another living being catches a glimpse of this ritual, terrible consequences will follow. Once you have secured the area, you can begin to play. First, you'll need to place the 3 coins on a flat surface with your preferential side, heads or tails, facing down. Next, you'll need to pour a single drop of red wax on the exposed side of each of the coins. This will serve as the Game Master's side. Finally, you'll need to sign your name on the paper and burn it while saying the words, "I want to play a game, I understand the rules, Spirit, are you there?" 3 times aloud. If you feel a gust of wind and the hairs on your skin begin to stand upright, the Game Master has entered the room and accepted your challenge. At this point, the rest of the game is quite simple. You'll need to flip each coin one by one and make a wish with every toss. The first wish must be related to love, the second for success or power, and the third wish must be for someone else's sake. If the coins land on your side, congratulations. The game is over and your dreams will come true very soon. But be warned, if the coins land on the Game Master's side, you will be punished in a manner that is equal and opposite to the wishes you made. For example, if your wish was for a friend who is very ill to get better, the Game Master might decide to take his life instead. The Game Master himself is also a malicious entity. If you don't watch the coins carefully, he may try to change the outcome of the game. For this reason, I'd recommend only playing it as a last resort. Comment whether or not you would play this game, and follow for more.
Maps that will change the way you see the world. This map shows reported UFO sightings, and 96% of them all come from the United States. Any country in gray is one of the 22 countries that Britain has never invaded. This is how big Brazil is compared to North America. This is how big Indonesia is compared to North America. This map shows the use in the United States of the words you guys versus y'all. This map shows Egypt's population density. These potential high-speed rail routes would connect over 50% of the entire United States and Canada populations. This map shows the percentage of the United States population that is not religious by state.
Let's take a look at one of the most interesting and terrifying short films on the internet. Creatures of the End Time by Moonprod. The video begins by showing us footage of a terrifying gargantuan creature walking slowly across the horizon. The creature is followed closely by a massive tornado which it is completely unfazed by, a demonstration of its immense power and size. The camera then pans around to show us a deserted town. Throughout the town, we are exposed to a multitude of mysterious humanoid shadows that appear to have been separated from their owners. These shadows could just be symbolic, representing a happier time now lost to us. However, they also bear a striking resemblance to the so-called death shadows that can be found after the usage of a nuclear bomb. If that's the case, it means that the military has already attempted to eliminate this creature using the most powerful weapon known to man. And it didn't work. The person filming then ominously declares, "They're here," and we are shown footage of a flock of birds fleeing in one direction, an indicator of disaster before the film comes to an end. In other apocalyptic stories, there is a sense that if we can just survive this event, things will be okay, our lives will go back to normal, and we can begin to rebuild our world. The terror of this film is that it strips that hope away from us. There is no surviving. This is the end. Leave a comment if you're watching this at night, and follow for more.
This is one of those stories from my childhood that still just gives me the chills thinking back to it even today. It was October, and my family was on vacation to some family resort in Catskill, New York. It was kind of in the middle of nowhere, but there were a decent amount of other families at the resort. There were a lot of kids. I remember the resort being surrounded by forest in all directions, but the actual resort grounds were fairly large. I was 8 years old. I was an awkward, shy kid for most of my childhood. I would follow the lead of my older brothers usually whenever in social settings. I'm the third child of 4. I have 3 brothers. During this vacation, my older brothers Eric and Josh were mostly hanging out amongst themselves since they're closer in age than I am with them. My little brother Craig was only 4, so he was constantly with my parents. When we weren't all together doing resort activities, everyone for the most part split up. My dad gave all of us money to play games at the arcade inside the activity hall building. My parents assumed I was with my older brothers at one point, but I was actually alone just exploring the resort grounds. I walked around the big cement pathway that looped around the entire resort. I passed by some families playing bocce ball, croquet, and other sports. I was partially looking for my brothers or just anything I could do by myself. I started exploring the inside of the activity hall building, and I found the arcade my dad was telling us about. It was actually a pretty impressively sized arcade. It had a bunch of pinball machines and all the standard classic arcade machines. At the time, most of the games were just a quarter to play. So I looked around the room for a game I wanted to play, and I noticed in one corner of the room this door with this really fogged up looking square glass window in the middle. It was like a special kind of glass that was hard to see through. I thought I could see something through the glass, so I walked a little closer to the door to look through it better, and I saw this humanoid figure standing there, staring through the window. I looked at it for like 15 seconds and it wouldn't move. I could barely see the face of it through the weird glass, but it kind of looked like a Halloween prop. It was Halloween season after all, and so that's what I assumed it was, a decoration meant to scare the kids. I walked away to find a game and ended up playing the Simpsons arcade game. The arcade machine was in the line of sight of that.
Dude, you are in danger. If you hear random whistling outside at night, there is a high chance you're about to encounter El Cibon. This translates directly into the Whistler. This is a popular Colombian and Venezuelan urban legend. The story goes El Cibon came from a family of farmers. Him and his father got into an altercation which led to El Cibon killing his father. His grandfather did not let that slide. He decided to have all of the farmers torture him. He also whipped his back and put salt all over his wounds so it would hurt more. Then he had 2 dogs drag El Cibon into the forest where his body was never found. Many believe this caused his soul to become damned. And now, if you ever hear a whistle randomly at night, it is El Cibon and he's coming to get you. There are many variations to this story, but he mainly attacks children, people who have cheated on their significant other, or drunks. You guys see this bag he has right here? That is a bag filled of bones of his victims, and he will count them in front of your doorstep. And if you don't listen to him, your entire family will die. Let me know what you guys think about this and follow for more scary stories. This might have been like the 10th video of the dancing Serbian lady I've been tagged in this month. She has been out and about, and reminder, don't approach her because she literally carries a knife. Avoid this person at all costs, please. It is scary how she acts though. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.
Normal looking photos that have a disturbing backstory. Part 27. This photo shows an elderly couple doing the hokey pokey with a man named Dennis Rader, also known as the BTK Killer. He installed alarms for a living, and ironically, many clients booked his services to prevent him from entering their homes. This photo shows Luchadora Juana Barraza. She was sold to a man for 3 beers by her mother until her stepdad found her at age 17. Over the years that followed, she would strangle and rob over 45 old women that reminded her of her abusive mom. The man in the background is Christopher Wilde, aka the Beauty Queen Killer. This picture was taken on June 15th, 1984, and Chris is scouting future victims at a beauty pageant. This photo shows John Edward Robinson holding a baby girl named Tiffany. Just 1 day before this photo was taken, he murdered the baby's mother and gave Tiffany to his brother, saying that she was adopted. His brother, along with Tiffany, didn't find out the truth for 15 years.